at the hotel before they got on the bus to head to the airport. So I think I did, 11 or 12 flights.
Really?
Yeah.
Which hotel?
The old one, Howard Johnson.
Oh, Hojo.
Yeah. One of the times the chaperone wasn't available to ride the bus over to the hotel, so I jumped on the bus, and two of the veterans said I looked like the Revelry girls from the night before, so they convinced me to sing the whole way from the hotel all the way to the airport. So
That's good.
yeah.
That is great. That is great. Oh, let's see. Join here.
Andrew, is that wishful thinking?
Yeah.
I know. We were talking about that yesterday. It's like we should be listening to a Brewer game right now.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. The KMOX in St. Louis the last months has been airing the Cardinals' run to the 2011 World Series, like starting with 20 regular season, the whole playoffs. And yesterday afternoon was Game 6 of the 2011 World Series, and I'm like, there's literally only one game left. What am I going to listen to? I knew I could put it on any night, and there would be baseball, you know. And it just felt normal, like, you know, going, well, Russo, why are you leaving him in to pitch? This isn't work well, you know. Of course, I know it's going to happen. So, you know.
And no matter how many times you watch it, they keep making the same mistakes.
Same mistakes, exactly. Yeah. Oh well. Well, good. Well, 5 after, so we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody is hanging in there, doing well, you know, as well as can be. Great. Let me pull it up here. We've obviously got some great media coverage along with our friends, the early birds, for the district grant. And thanks to John and Matt Rowe and to Mike Beck and Dennis for documenting it and getting it up there. I will say I saw posted a really great Facebook post. It's already getting a good amount of traction. So say the homework for members, so please go on and share that post if you haven't already, and trying to pull it up now. You know, let people know just about the work that's being done, and I know Mike is working on a video right now. But yeah, looking at the post here, let's see, a couple of great posts with this most recent one. Yeah, we've already had a couple hundred people see that post, and just posted about an hour ago. So that's great. Great opportunity for people to see the work done in the club. So thanks, Dennis, for putting that up, and thanks everybody for their involvement. And I'm glad that, you know, the highway vests were in the basement of the Grand, so Mike Beck was able to come pick them up from me, and we got the nice Rotarian working in the shot. So that was a good idea by Mike, because he called me on Thursday afternoon and said, we need something that indicates these are Rotarians. And you know, I remembered that Mr. Carter had dropped off an entire crate of things and said, here, those are yours now, including those. So really glad that we were able to do that. Other things that are up, let's see, right now, first of the month, birthdays and club anniversaries. Our only birthday this month, our good friend, our honorary member, Mary Silvis, who we miss her birthday on the 18th. And then we have 3 anniversaries, 8 years for Scott Mashinsky, 31 years for Patrick Bradley, and 23 years for our own Brad Peck. He's on the call, 23 years. So, you know, amazing. You know, what'd you join, like right out of high school? You know? Yeah. Yeah. I figure I'd give you that much. So, thanks. Congratulations to the anniversary and birthday folks. And then, speaking of other good news and Rotarians, Deb, we have a new member. We obviously don't have an induction just yet, and it might be a virtual one, but the board approved a new member today.
Anne Herder Rapp from UW Stevens Point, Wausau. I've been bugging her for about 6 months, and she finally said yes. So if there's anybody that has any concerns or anything between now and Friday, please let Sean know. If not, we can hopefully get her inducted at our next meeting virtually.
Exactly. Well, good. I'm glad that you continued to work on that one and get her into the club. She'll be a great addition to the club. So really glad that that she's going to join us. I think wasn't not a lot of other business at the club level. We did receive notification that the district is going to do a one-time reduction in dues, the district dues, which is much appreciated. And you know, we did receive the match. We did receive those funds for the grant project. So you know, our financials are actually in a good place right now. It's nice to see the transition from a year ago when we were in a very difficult place financially to a year later, and that's, you know, because of you know, the work of finding a new location and everything that went into that, some savings that the board has worked hard, and then the reindeer run and the work for sponsorships and others. And so it's you know, it's in a challenging time overall. It is a good to see that the club is on a little bit firmer financial footing than we were a year, 18 months ago. So thanks to all who have played a role in that. Anything else, Deb, that I'm forgetting from the board meeting? These Zoom calls just like go one to another right now. So
yeah. The only other thing we mentioned, and Jeff is on the meeting right now, to thank him and the United Way for the beautiful mention on their Facebook page about our clubs and this grant. It was very sweet. I shared it to our page as well. So Jeff, thanks for that acknowledgement to the club.
Definitely. No, it's great. And, you know, and we're just talking about some ideas for us to potentially, you know, gather as we get into the late spring and summer, even if, you know, indoor gatherings are perhaps still, or, you know, our whitewater isn't back open, but perhaps an opportunity, whether it's at Bluegill or one of our picnic locations, or because seemingly half of us have new puppies, maybe, you know, Galen will give us the run of the dog park for a day. Apparently, you know, we should have set up concessions and sold concessions there this weekend. It was quite the popular location from what Galen was saying. So maybe that's our next fundraising initiative. The you know, a beer trailer at the dog park. That's the.
Or dog treats. We could do dog treats. Yeah.
Dog treats. Yeah.
Oh, I think dog masks.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the cartoon? What did these humans do wrong? They're all wearing muzzles. I don't understand.
Did you see the picture of the bear in Yankees bookstore with a mask on it? You know, he's got a stuffed 12-foot tall Kodiak bear in the
right.
Yankees bookstore, and he had a mask on.
I did see that a couple of the Rusty Birds on Stewart have masks now, and I got a note asking if that had been approved by the arts district, or if we had, you know, if we had weighed in on that. And I said you know, that's street art, so we don't have anything to say about that. So yes, well, before we move on to our speakers, the virtual Sergeant at Arms, who's got happy dollars to share? As you know, we all need some happiness in this time, so I'm sure somebody has something.
I'll pledge $34 for 34th wedding anniversary yesterday.
Ah, congratulations.
I
I'll
guess
pledge,
I guess it's happy.
I was going to have to put in at least 68 then. I think that's the rule.
I'll pledge 23 for 23 great years in Rotary. Getting to
Absolutely.
meet some outstanding people. So I really miss seeing you personally each week, but I guess this is the next best thing. But thank you, Rotary, for everything.
Thank you. Thanks for being a great club member for all these years. And
Why don't we make it an even 25? Because my wife caught 2 beautiful brook trout on the Prairie River. At the end of the day, I asked her who invited her along, but we'll just make it an even 25.
Sounds to me like it should be an even 50.
Was that your secret spot up on 17?
Absolutely.
I won't tell anybody.
That's right. Just send that offline. We'll this is being recorded. Just send it offline. We won't tell anybody else. Who else? Anybody?
I can jump in. This is John. I got a couple. I'll put in 5. I probably will pale in comparison to the big donations just ahead of me, but still there's some fun things to talk about. One is the fact that starting last week, and Brad can testify to this, the scholarship announcements for high school students began. I think at East you had an event last Wednesday or Thursday, Brad, right? And those events are going to take place over the next couple weeks ending on May 20th, I think at Newman. And each is a little different. I don't know the virtual nature of each, but all 8 of our award recipients will be announced at those sessions. I've been working with Sue Nelson at the Community Foundation to send out letters to our recipients to invite them to the June 1st session that we'll have, hopefully, them in virtual attendance if we can't make it physically, along with their parents. So that's one happy dollar. I think it's a great month for some good news for those kids who are ending a very unusual senior year. Another note here is I'd like to add thanks to Sean's, to both Mike and Dennis for the yeoman's effort of getting out in the county, going to Edgar to film the food purchase for our $3,000 joint Rotary Club grant for the kids in those 7 schools in the district, out in the county rather. And Dennis, of course, was the featured filmee, as I think Mike must have been the camera, wielding the camera there. But that and Randy Winter, of course, in the Early Bird Club also did a great press release. It was released to a wide variety of sources. So it's been getting good traction, including even feedback from the district, which I think is exciting. So that's another part of the Happy Bucks. I would mention that on May 1st, which is between now and the last time I think we met, the district scholarship committee did meet and did approve a global grant scholarship of $30,000 to a Lawrence University student. It's all pending final Rotary approval, and they have to lift the travel ban for this to be approved as well, which is truly up in the air. But anyway, it was a great session. We had 13 members participating, including one past scholar who dialed in from Oxford, England to participate, which was pretty exciting. And for the fact that we have 3 special presenters here, which you get to introduce in a few minutes, all those are the happy dollars I have. So a lot of good news in a time of unusual circumstances for us all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess I'll throw out $1. I just this grant thing really, I was just sort of caught up in it. But if we hadn't had such a great relationship, I think, with the Hunger Coalition and the partnership that we've been able to build with United Way, over the course of time, I just this thing went so easily and so well because of those great relationships and great partnerships. So Jeff, and to you and your team, and talking to Ben and Tara out there and Edgar, I mean, they have been working so hard, all those staffers. It's like all hands on deck to try to serve the community in this way. that's really inspirational. It's very cool, and so hats off to Jeff and your and the Hunger Coalition and United Way. It's really quite impressive. So anyway, there you go.
Absolutely. Really great to see partnerships come together and not just our club, but yeah, the Early Birds along with United Way. And that's really sort of the best of who we are as a community and as a service organization. So that's great to see. Anybody else?
Sean, this is John again. I forgot to mention one piece of news from the annual meeting of the district. Our good friend and somebody we're very well aware of, Dave Anderson, was willing to be nominated and was approved to be district governor select in the year 23-24. So he's got a couple of governors ahead of him, but so also will be well represented by leadership for the district in a couple of years.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I saw that. Yeah, great friend and club member and co-star of the new hit podcast, Two Bald Men and whatever they're called, the Eric Giordano, which is
That's Wausau's first district governor since 1947, by the way.
Wow.
Hey, what's this bald man thing? I always thought that people who wore ball caps were hiding their baldness.
See, no, the opposite is when their hair hasn't been cut in so long that, when you go to the doctor for a physical and they're like, oh, look, you're growing. No, I'm not. That's just my hair. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Yes, and as those of you, I'll throw in a happy dollar. Those of you who were on the board meeting heard, Miss Kennedy, a 2-month-old English cream, has joined our brood, and it's been a long time since we've had a puppy. We've had dogs, but we haven't had a puppy. Wow, they're a handful. I got her this morning when she was a terror. Now she's asleep, so of course she's in mom's office now. That's the way it works. But we're happy to add her, and Lincoln is tolerating her. He's his world's been rocked. He's adjusting. So anyway, well, good.
So, Sean, that's an English cream Labrador or Retriever, or which?
Golden, yeah, a golden, yeah, Retriever. So
Yeah,
English
okay.
golden Retriever. So yes, she will be a tiny but has the giant paws, so we know she's going to be a big girl, and she will run the place here shortly. But she's already running the place.
How many times a night do you have to take her out?
She one time middle of the night, and then up around 6:37. So she's not too bad. She's a pretty good sleeper. It's during the rest of the day that she's a little terror. But that's what they do, and eventually we get through that phase. So anyway, well, good. Well, thanks everybody. Unless anybody else has anything to add. If not, John, you want to introduce our speakers?
Perhaps before I do that, would you mind a sad dollar as well, Sean? And
Absolutely.
Debbie, of course, sent the announcement out about our honorary member, Diane Bartel, passing away, which is sad. I got to know her when I used to step into the Presto printing office over there to do rotary printing work. And what a charming, wonderful, gracious soul who was happy to support our club for many years past her active membership. So we're sad for her passing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, I'm going to put in another 5. That'll be 30 then from Brad Peck, because I got my Paul Harris Fellowship because of her. Her and her husband, Paul, were just tremendous people who truly lived the Rotary model of service above self.
I should also mention to the club too, Kirk lost his mother last week as well. So keep him and his family in your thoughts as well.
Thank you. Okay, so are you ready to move the program forward?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I came to become acquainted with Deanna kind of indirectly initially, and some of you who are past and current members of the scholarship committee for our club will know the Peyton's Promise organization, which showed up so many times in the applications of many of the scholar applicants for our Rotary Club scholarship. Many kids have over the years been active in this organization, and it's exciting to see that kind of leadership and volunteer spirit. So it became clear to me when I saw a recent article here a while back, I think it might have been in City Pages or something that was printed online, that reminded me again of Peyton's Promise. And the thought was, hey, let's see if we can get Teena and maybe some representatives who can show us how they walk the talk of Peyton's Promise activities. So I think Teena's coming us from Jordan, Minnesota right now. So
Yes, I am.
she too is in distant cyberland coming to us. And then we also have Sara Meyer, who will wave to us, I'm sure there. You can see her on the screen. And then is it pronounced Danni?
Yes.
Danni Langseth as well, who's also, these two folks I think are local. And I'm going to then turn it over to Teena to introduce more of herself as she cares and the two student representatives. And then, of course, we're anxious to get acquainted again with Peyton's Promise and the work that you do, so we can get up close and personal on the subject. So thanks so much for being willing to join us, the three of you. And this virtual connection makes it a little easier for us to be together, particularly from a big distance. So Teena, turning over to you.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen here. I did a practice with the girls, so I'm really hoping that I'm able to pull this up here. You should be able to see my screen, correct? Maybe.
It's blank.
It's because you've started a screen sharing.
Oh, hold on one second. Oops, sorry. Let's present. So right there, can you see the screen?
Yep, you're good.
All right,
Yep.
perfect. All right. Technology, these kids in the organization have taught me a lot over the years here. So, so hi, my name is Teena Medick. I'm the executive director of Peyton's Promise. Our mission statement is to make the world a better place, one can at a time. I want you to hold this picture right here in front of you in your heads as you see how far and how large our organization has grown in such a short amount of time. Back in 2006, our daughter and our son and my husband and I were watching a show on 2020 about Camden, New Jersey, which is one of the poorest communities in the United States. Within a 5-mile span, they have some of the most expensive houses you'll see and some of the most dire conditions that you'll see. And this little boy named Ivan Stevens caught my daughter's eye, and he was getting ready to go to his first day of kindergarten. Him and his mom and his younger brother were literally couch surfing. They were staying in illegal boarding houses. They were just kind of surfing from couch to couch. But Ivan was getting ready for his first day of kindergarten, and he knew his colors and his numbers and his letters, but he did not know the 3 meals of the day. He did not know the words breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So Peyton turned to us, being 8 years old, and this is a girl, this is a strong, tough cookie of a girl. She didn't cry at the movie Marley and Me, so not a lot makes her cry. And she turned to us with tears streaming down her face and said, "Are there people like that in the Wausau area?" And we said, "Yeah." And we let her know about the neighbor's place. And she said, "Well, we've got to fix the problem." So as you see in the picture on the right-hand side there's Peyton standing with the grocery bags. She stapled those little orange pieces of paper to 300 grocery bags and handed them out at Riverside Elementary. He brought back roughly about 300 bags of groceries, but I would say about 40% of it was unusable, or at least unusable in what you would have in your pantry. It was outdated. It was, 20-year-old mayonnaise or outdated lima beans, not exactly what you would go to the grocery store to grab off the shelf for yourself. So since that 300 bags of groceries, the organization has just exploded. We started just supporting the Neighbor's Place back in 2006. And now we are supporting 55 different local organizations fighting hunger. 30 organizations are community food pantry-ish. We say organizations because they're not all food pantries. 25, with most of those school pantries, we've helped to open, buying shelving and getting them started with their first round of donations. As our 25 are school pantries, 30 are community organizations, as well as DC Everest Wausau Blessings in a Backpack. We help to assist. But one of the things that we started to earmark is the fact that we wanted fresh food. We wanted to buy local, to make sure that if there was money coming into our organization, we as Peyton's Promise were going to make sure that that stayed in our local economy. And then we were going to also make sure that that food was the food that we would purchase for our own families. So through different organizations that you're going to hear the girls talk about, or different programs that we offer through our organization, the girls are going to kind of touch base on in a little bit. We try to get the freshest food available to those local pantries. So what happens is the pantries go on our website. They go and they apply for what we call mini grants. And then we are able to fill those with food from local grocers. Now, with COVID-19, things have changed a little bit. In the month of March, I think we quadrupled our budget of what we normally spend in a month because we started helping with the grab and go sites with the districts, school districts, helping them to give out large grocery bags for families in need, as well as obviously the food pantries seeing a rise in clients coming in. So they go on, they apply for that food. We reach out to the local grocery stores. Now, this is where things kind of have gotten a little tricky with COVID-19. Stores are having a hard time filling their own shelves, let alone filling our orders. So right now we're only able to work with a couple of different grocery stores to fill these orders, but they are getting filled. And now obviously we're supporting all of these food pantries. Sarah's going to talk a little bit about our food drives coming up here, but this is my job right here, is making sure that I get these orders, get them out to the grocery store to be filled. The pantries come and pick them up and bring them in to their pantries to be given out to their clientele. So last year, just to kind of see how much growth we've had with our organization, last year we reached our millionth pound collected and or donated to local pantries in Marathon County here. So 1 pantry to 55 pantries, 300 bags to 1 million pounds of food, which is amazing. So right here is a picture. What happened in 2012, we found out that Peyton was getting older, so she was losing her cute factor. A student reached out from University of Wisconsin-Madison and asked if she could study our organization for longevity and sustainability. And what she wanted to do was develop an advocate program. This was going to go on longer than when Peyton was going to be here. Peyton is currently graduating this coming Saturday from University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, and we have 146 advocates. So when kids reach 4th grade or older, they are able and invited to apply to become Peyton's Promise advocates. They write an essay of how they would like to make the world a better place. And then they're invited to this day, which you see here, is our day of training. And this day of training it's special to me because they all come together, all different ages, and they are able to learn about different community organizations. They are able to hear from Joe Toffrey, who helps to talk about our physical fitness aspect of our organization, where we go into schools and do hygiene drives or soup can workouts with kids to keep them moving. Instead of just watching TV, we show them things they can do while watching TV. So Joe Toffrey does some exercises with them. They hear from a couple of different speakers. They take the bus out to the community garden by the YMCA, Aspirus YMCA, and we pick a bunch of vegetables, bring them back to Covenant. And Covenant is one of our larger food pantries. So Covenant, when we first started working with them, they were serving about 37 families a month. At one time, they got up to over 100 families every two weeks, and now they're serving probably every 2 weeks. Probably they're back to like the 20s and 30s. So the kids are able to see the face of hunger. They get to see the fact that, you know what, just because someone uses a food pantry does not make them any different than you or I. They just need a little bit of extra help. And if you ask most of our advocates, they're going to tell you this is their favorite event we do every year, because they are able to serve those in need and get to hear their stories. So one of the things that I try to teach the kids is, I do want to share before I pass this off to Danni and Sara. Today I was on my way home from class, and I received a message, and every Sunday night I get together with the leadership board. So this is not new. This is new probably to your organization. You're able to meet in person usually, but we do this every Sunday night. So our leadership group of about 20 kids from Wausau, Mosinee, and Everest school districts get together every Sunday night for 15 minutes and have a meeting like this. And I received this message. I'm not going to tell you who it's from, but it's from one of our leadership team members. It says, "I know this is late, but happy Mother's Day. This text is a long overdue thank you, not just for how hard you work for this group, but how much you genuinely care. 2020 has been a rough year for my family so far, and knowing that I get to hang out with you and this group once a week has been an unbelievable comfort. Thank you so much, and have a great week." So that to me, not just, they fill my love tank, but, to show that this is coming round full circle, that these kids are developing these relationships has been just one thing that I can't get over. So I work with amazing leaders in this organization. This leadership team goes above and beyond, not only meeting on Sunday nights, but developing their own programs. So I'm going to introduce you first to Danni Langseth. Danni has been with us, and she's going to tell the story, my favorite red wagon story. But Danni came to my doorstep one day, and from the day she walked into my life, I knew she was going to do great things. So I want you to hear from Danni a little bit about who she is and what she means and what this organization means to her.
Thank you, Mrs. Medick, and that text message is just such truly an innocent, beautiful way of just how our organization is touching people. So that's such a great message. So a little bit about me. I'm a junior at DC Everest, and besides Peyton's Promise, I'm a 3-sport athlete, and I'm actually aspiring to be a collegiate track athlete right now. But I am the vice president of the Peyton's Promise Leadership Board, and this organization is just so special to everyone involved and everyone who's just came in contact, even for a brief period of time, with our organization. So my story is the Little Red Wagon story, and if you look in the bottom right corner, you will see a picture of me and my best friend Emma. And we're standing in front of a car because we were just out collecting as much food as we could, because we had heard about this Peyton's Promise organization and we really wanted to give back and be a part of it. So I just remember knocking on door to door thinking that we were going to solve world hunger in the hour of time we were out collecting food. But we were collecting as much food as possible, and like Mrs. Medick said, we showed up on her doorstep, and that's how I got involved with Peyton's Promise. And I'm so happy that I did and I had that experience, because this organization has truly, and I think for everyone involved, it helps me just define my morals and my personality. Sara is another one who's very driven, and I think us coming together just helps us both to cultivate our vision and just our great personalities that are driving, goal-oriented. And it's also helped me define my passions. So Peyton's Promise has truly just defined my passions, what I'm truly passionate about, and just how I can make a difference in the world. So next is my involvement. These are some of my favorite Peyton's Promise events that hopefully the Rotary Club can get involved with too. It's also how I spend my time with the organization. So the first, I think, really experience that I had with Peyton's Promise was on Advocate Day of Training, and I've been doing this every summer for 8 years, I think. And I started as someone who went to the garden and picked vegetables and looked up to Peyton Medick as an icon, and now I help to run Advocate Day of Training. So it's amazing to just watch that grow and develop. What's truly so special about Advocate Day of Training is the pantry work at Covenant Community Presbyterian Church. So after a long day of picking and learning about Peyton's Promise and going to the garden, you get to go down into the pantry, and it's just this amazing experience where you get to talk to the people who use this pantry. And like Mrs. Medick said, you learn that these people are not that different from yourself. And so I think that it's important for kids like me to see that there's diversity in my own community, because we are sheltered, whether or not, I mean, that's obviously not intentionally, but we're sheltered to our own little bubbles. So it's so important to have that just diverse experience down in the pantry and see all of the hard work pay off. Next, with my involvement, I do leadership board meetings every week. So this is really important because they're Sundays and they're just weekly, helping us as a leadership board to productively tackle problems and issues that face Peyton's Promise, and how youth involvement can help to productively solve those problems. Another one of my favorite events is Hearts of Hope, and that's where you get to take this food, and right near Christmas time you get to go and deliver it to these families' houses, and you get to see where they live and the challenges that they face just by where they live, and their income and how it's unequal, and you just get to see the hard work pay off again from your garden work and your sorting your food. So just seeing all that pay off is so special. And then the next one that I really like for events is Volley for Our Neighbors. So I have been a DC Everest volleyball player since 8th grade, and volleyball is one of my favorite sports. And so for this event, the Neighbors Place and Peyton's Promise kind of come together to just get food and give back. And it's so special for me because I get to play in front of this huge community. I mean, it's by far the biggest crowd that we have all year. So, and it's just bright orange, and you can just feel the impact of Peyton's Promise on the entire community. So that's really amazing. Okay, so in 2018, I had decided that Peyton's Promise had done so much for me that I wanted to give back and kind of just give back to the organization that's really helped define me as a person. So I started Eat for the Hungry, and it's this event where people eat and restaurants give. So restaurants donate 15% of their sales on a day in early December, and the restaurants give back. So it's a really special event because it helps right near December, kind of the pantries go through January through March, a kind of downward spiral where people aren't as, they don't have as much food coming in for the pantry, so that kind of helps them get through that. So I started this event in 2018 for a marketing class. Just wanted to give back to the organization, and I took second at state with my Eat for the Hungry project and its impact, and I actually went all the way to nationals in Florida, so that was pretty special. So the success of this event is really amazing just to watch how this has grown. So in 2018, I started with 6 restaurants and we raised $2,500. And then in 2019, we doubled that to 5,000 and 12 restaurants. So that was really amazing. I'm hoping to double it again. So some major takeaways I've had is that I can't do it by myself. So I've started my own Eat for the Hungry board out of our advocates and leadership board that are going to help me this year with the 2020 event, but I could really use Rotary help. If you guys are so well connected with everywhere, all the restaurants, all different organizations, so I would love to hear about any of your connections with restaurants that would be interested in doing my event. That would be great. Any way that you guys have ideas for improvement for this event, I would be so special to hear from you guys, and I'd really like the Rotary Club to help me reach my goal of 24 restaurants in 2020. So feel free to reach out anytime to Mrs. Medick for any goals or any connections that you guys have. That would be greatly appreciated. So that's it for me. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Sara Mayer. She's the president of Peyton's Promise and one of my close friends and close comrades I've had for a while now. Sara, I truly look up to. So take it away, Sara.
Thank you, Danny. So I'm Sara. I am a junior at DC Everest. I am on the Everest swim team, and I've also been swimming at the Y for 10 years, and I'm also aspiring to be a collegiate athlete in swimming. And this year, I am the president of the Peyton's Promise Leadership Board. So I became an advocate when I was in 4th grade. We had a lot of the junior and senior advocates come and talk to us about what Peyton's Promise is and what it does for the community. At first, I didn't really know a whole lot about Peyton's Promise, but I knew it was something I definitely wanted to be involved in. So I came home, I talked to my mom about it, and she actually told me that apparently my dad, when he was younger, had to use the food pantry because his mom was a single mom and she was already working a couple jobs and just was going through a rough time, and so she needed a little extra help. And that really touched me because I wanted to help people that were going through the same things that my dad was going through. So I joined Peyton's Promise, and since then, Peyton's Promise has taught me many things. It has first of all taught me how to be so grateful for what I have, and it has really made me want to make a difference in the community. It has also shown me a lot of leadership, as well as Peyton's Promise has given me a voice in my community. When I first became an advocate, I did a presentation at one of the Optimist Club meetings, and I remember I practiced for weeks. I had note cards, and I wasn't going to look at the note cards, and it was going to be great. And then I got there, and I was so nervous. I looked at the note cards the whole time, and it was bad. And since then, I have just grown so much from all of the different events that we've done, and it has really given me a voice. And now I don't look at my note cards. I have a really easy time just talking to people, which has also really helped me in school a lot. So with that being said, my favorite events are Stock the Shelves. We have 2 Stock the Shelves events. One is during Christmas time, and the other is for Global Youth Service Day. And with those, we go to different stores and we hand out little sheets of paper that say these are the most needed items in the groceries that we need for pantries, and it asks grocers while they are shopping if they can grab those items and drop them off on the way out. This event is so successful because it is super easy for people to just pick up an item or 2 while they're shopping, and it eliminates the factor that we used to get a lot of outdated items, and now we don't get as many from this event. And my other favorite event is Advocate Day of Training, because like Danni and Teena said, it's where all of the advocates come together for this one day. We all have the same goals and aspirations for this organization, and it is just so cool to be able to meet all of the new advocates and really build a strong bond with everyone. So my two events are Pop Tabs for Sophia and Hunt Down Hunger. Pop Tabs for Sophia started when I had a younger cousin who died at the age of 2 due to biliary atresia, and she needed a liver transplant, yet did not get one. And her family stayed at the Ronald McDonald House pretty much her whole life. And the Ronald McDonald House is so important because it provides their family a home away from home while they are staying in the hospital. So it provides them with more warm meals, a place to stay. It provides them birthday cake for their birthdays. And I went there last year and it is just so amazing. And I love it there. So it benefits the Ronald McDonald House. And this will be our 6th year that we are doing this event. And each year we have raised 500 pounds of Pop Tabs, each that we bring down to the Ronald McDonald House in Milwaukee on the Toss the Tab Day. And it is so important to bring them on this day because not only are the tabs worth double, but there are many local businesses that will match whatever is brought in that day. And this year with COVID-19, we are actually going to still keep collecting throughout the year, and instead of bringing them down this year, we are going to bring down double next year, just because we want to make sure all of our advocates are healthy and not going to get coronavirus. So the other event that I kind of helped coordinate is Hunt Down Hunger. So I kind of helped give this drive its name, and I've helped coordinate it since Peyton has left to go to college. Hunt Down Hunger is a local, school-wide, district-wide food drive that is run through Marathon, Wausau, Mosinee, and Everest school districts. And it is a competition for which school can collect the most items. And the school that collects the most items gets this big traveling trophy, which is seen in one of the middle pictures. So this benefits over 10 area food pantries. And I just love this event because it brings in so much food. In the more recent years, we've brought in over 30,000 pounds of food, and it is just so amazing to see all of the food there and really be able to sort it all. And then it's even more amazing when we get to actually distribute the food out to the local pantries, because that is always just so touching to me. I remember one year we had a lady that came in, and she was just so thankful because she said that she was having a really hard time keeping her pantry full, and she said that she was actually going to stop her pantry because she just couldn't keep it full. And she prayed and then she got a phone call from Teena that we had food, and she was so thankful. And to this day we help her, and her pantry is still running. So I think that is just absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Sara and Danni. The last slide is just kind of ways that if you're interested in getting involved or helping, supporting. I heard at the beginning of your meeting, really important. Obviously, you know the importance of social media and the likes and the shares and the comments. So we have a new intern with us. Her name is Alex. She's been doing a rock star job of kind of boosting our social media presence, especially during this COVID time. So I've got all of our links there on the left-hand side, as well as our website. And on our Facebook page, I believe it was last week, one of the tools that you can go and look at, we have developed is a map. It's an active map that literally you can kind of click on. If you live up in Merrill, you can click on Merrill and you can see the closest food pantry to you, or, you know, Mosinee. So that map is literally a work in progress, because pantries are changing, obviously, with the COVID, with their hours, as well as the districts having their grab and go sites. So we are working on that. And then a pretty one. I know I missed Mother's Day, but if you're looking for a beautiful gift for your wife, for your daughter, for whomever, these bracelets are adorable. Our whole family, we purchased the first ones. They're really nice. Jim Kreshak Jewelers just developed that. And they are, while they are closed, not only are they employing their employees to kind of put these bracelets together, which I think is great to support local businesses, but 50% of their proceeds will go to the fight against hunger. So Danni, Sara, and I will take any questions if you have any.
So Teena, Sara, and Danni, thank you so much for an outstanding example of leadership and volunteer spirit and the wonders and joys of the camaraderie that raise up some very special results for our community. And I was just curious myself on the matter of how many children or kids are involved on average at any one time. You know, that big picture you started with at the beginning showed quite a variety of kids, and the age span is remarkable, thinking of one of you starting at 4th grade. But how many kids are active in Peyton's Promise at any one time, like right now?
Right now, I think we have 147 or 146 on our roster. That doesn't mean that those kids are involved in each and every program. So if I picked 2 other advocates to join you or to join me today, you would have heard a totally different presentation, because I asked the kids to talk about their things they're passionate about. You know, one of the things that I talk about is find your passion, tap into compassion, and then you'll find your purpose. So that doesn't mean Danni and Sara are involved in every single event we have. So what's nice is I don't ever have to beg for volunteers.
I'd like to just jump in for Sara and Danni. Thank you. What great presentations, by the way. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you, Teena. It's just what an inspirational story. It's just really an incredible journey that you've been on. And so I guess there are lots of questions I have, but I guess I'll just ask. So, you know, Danni and Sara, how do you've learned a lot by participating in Peyton's Promise? You mentioned some things. I guess, how do you see some of the skills, the things that you've developed, you know, as part of this? How do you see that's applying to your future and sort of using these things going, some of the skills and experiences going forward?
Well, like I said, I like talking about how I gave that presentation at the Optimist, and I just like kept looking at my note cards and everything. We do a lot of presentations at school, and that has really helped me with presentations at school, because I am not one of those kids who will sit and look at my note cards the whole time. And I do feel like with the Stock the Shelves event, which really forces kids to like go out and talk to the people in the grocery stores, I feel like that has also allowed me to be able to talk to older adults. And it's definitely a lot different than talking to like your best friend. So I feel like that has really just shaped who I am and how I treat other people.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's about finding purpose for my life. Like, I am the happiest, I feel the most fulfilled when I'm giving back and I'm doing things for other people, because the feeling and the just overwhelming emotion that you get from putting the needs of another person above your own is really cannot be recreated by any other scenario. So that's helped me find purpose and know that I constantly want to apply that to my life, no matter what it looks like. If it's starting my own nonprofit organization, obviously I will always be involved with Peyton's Promise, but I know that I want to be involved with giving back, and I think that just finding that purpose has been the biggest thing for me.
Danni, how would we get restaurants that may be interested in participating with your Eat for the Hungry? How would we get the names and the contacts to you?
Well, I could give you my phone number. Mrs. Medick is a great contact. Her and I talk all the time. So, anything that you reach out to her will go right to me. But yeah, anything, that's great to hear that you're interested in helping me out, because anything that, any connection, you guys have way more connections than I do. So,
I just wrote down quickly, just a dozen of them. And a
oh,
lot
wow.
of them already
Thank
do
you.
that type of event for other organizations, including mine. So I know they'll be receptive.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. That would be
You
so
bet.
helpful.
And both of the girls have Peyton's Promise emails as well. So Danny's is dlangseth@peytonspromise.org, and Sarah's is smayer@peytonspromise.org. So feel free to email them. That's, one of the things that we try to, the eye contact with adults, the speaking in public, the going out to, it's easy enough to go and have an adult reach out to those restaurants. But when Danny was doing it, she's like, okay, what do I do next? Literally each meeting we'd have, Danny'd be like, okay, what's my to-do list? And you give her a to-do list and she just doesn't stop. So, I don't pick favorites, but Danny and Sara have been with me probably the longest, and are probably the longest hardworking leaders that I've had. And each year, next year is going to be a hard year for me to say goodbye to my seniors. Let's just put it that way. So, and Mike, is it true? We were on you met Peyton at the very beginning of Peyton's Promise. Is that correct?
That was many years
Many,
ago. Right
many,
when you
many
were,
years ago.
you
Right?
had just started it, and I think I had just got into town, and
Yep.
so
Yeah, I remember. I didn't recognize the face or the name, but I recognized your accent, and all of a sudden it just clicked. So yeah, I sat on that editorial board, and yeah, that was awesome.
The face is different.
Yeah. So is mine.
How would you describe Mike's accent?
Pardon?
How would
you describe his accent?
Oh, South.
South?
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Kansas. So,
So Teena, this is John. Maybe for the sake of our club members, if you send me contact information for these folks, I can then pass it on to the club.
Okay.
Also, I'm thinking, Mike, maybe there's something that Teena and the others could provide us that we could put on Facebook, and maybe that piece alone might help touch other people and give them some contact information to get back on ideas, and at least make them aware of Peyton's Promise and our connection with them.
And if I can just encourage you all to, obviously like us on Facebook and, Twitter. We're still new to the Twitter world, but Facebook and Instagram, we've got pretty well nailed down. But if you could like us and follow us, anytime you can give us a like you probably are aware that algorithm can be a great asset, and it could also kind of hurt you, and people don't even know you exist at times. So any kinds of likes and shares you can do. Our intern has been doing a great job of posting something every day about how we are getting involved with the community during this COVID time.
Back to you, Sean. About ready to call it a day, I think.
I should have to unmute myself. Yeah, people are having to jump off. It's 1 o'clock, so we'll wrap it up. But thanks to the three of you. What a wonderful organization, and what great work you do for the community. And so we're really, it's so great to hear we have such outstanding young leadership in our community, and we're excited about what the future holds, not only for Peyton's Promise, but for both of you as individuals as well, Sara and Danny. So thanks so much for being here, and thanks for everything that you guys do for the community. So
thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, with that, let's finish up our meeting. And I think I know I'm inspired to head out into the rest of the week after hearing those three individuals. So let's start the rest of the week with the four-way test. Of the things we think
Say or do.
Is it the
The
truth?
truth
Is it fair to all
concerned.
fulfill goodwill,
Friendships,
Will it be
be
beneficial?
beneficial to all concerned.
Thanks,
that was
everybody.
nice.
Thanks, three of you. Take care, and
Thanks so much.
Thank you.